Before we get into today's episode, I want to give a bit of an FYI. I'm recording this episode on the eve of my son's 25th birthday to go live on his actual birthday tomorrow, June 21st. I've kind of been keeping myself busy with all my side hustles because I knew his birthday was this week and I didn't want to have a moment to sit and think about what was coming. But all that avoiding sort of snuck up on me today and I broke. I miss my silly, annoying, handsome, all of a sudden way taller than me son so much that sometimes it's hard to even breathe. My grief therapist is teaching me how to, in her words, put it away. To go through the emotion, have a good cry, or relive a memory, but once that moment is past, I have to put it away. She had me close my eyes and imagine a place I could put the emotions away. I imagined a storage bin in the bottom of my closet with some of Deshawn's things, such as his rap books, his drawings, and his music. I imagined myself putting the emotions there, and once I've put it away, I go on about my day until the next wave hits. I've had to put it away several times today. If I could say anything to Deshawn right now, it would be, Happy 25th birthday, baby. A lot of people miss you down here. You just don't know the impact you had. To this day, people still listen to your music, and you are the topic of conversations amongst your friends to this day. I want to thank you for choosing me as your mother. It was an honor to raise you, although at times it wasn't easy. In the end, we became closer than we ever were before, but you and I had always had a special bond even when times were rough. Keep watching over me because I know it has been God and you who have brought me this far. I love you and I miss you, and you will always be Mommy's baby. And now I'm putting it away. Whew, okay, welcome to A Better Path Through Grief, where we embark on a healing journey, sharing stories and finding strength. We share conversations that embrace and navigate the challenges of loss. And today we embark on a journey to understand the profound impact of the word dead and its counterparts, death and dying. I'm your host, Lamina Davis, and in this episode, we'll delve into the meaning behind those words and why they trigger different emotional responses and what it would take for individuals to come to terms with them. Some people perceive the word dead as callous, cold, unfeeling, and offensive for several reasons. Lack of sensitivity, negative connotations. In some cultures, it's a social taboo to say the word dead or death or dying. Just the word itself just perceives lack of empathy, especially used in a certain tone. Overall, the perception of the word dead as callous, cold, unfeeling, and offensive stems from its association with loss, its blunt nature, and its potential to trigger negative emotions and memories in individuals who are sensitive to the usage of the word. Let's start by defining the terms. What does dead mean? Well, dead typically refers to the state of no longer being alive, the cessation of life functions. It's a blunt, undeniable declaration of the end of life. Now, for me, I get offended. And for the longest time, I really couldn't put it into words how the word made me feel until I did the research. And it is exactly what is described as callous, cold, and feeling offensive. It's still kind of hard to explain to me. It just feels disrespectful to me. I think I've always felt this way, but once my grief counselor, referred to my son as being dead, it struck a chord with me and I spoke up about it. I wasn't rude. I just felt like I didn't want her to refer to him that way. And I couldn't put into words why I felt that way, but I immediately just got so annoyed and so angry. And I didn't yell or like I said, I wasn't rude. I just asked that she not refer to him that way. And so now she's having me take this deep dive into researching the words dead, death, and dying. So I did my research. I actually asked people on Facebook who had the same feelings that I had. They thought it was rude to refer to someone as dead. I read headlines like, for instance, TMZ. They often refer to the person they're reporting on as having passed away as dead. So they'll say so and so dead at 58. And then in the article, then they'll say has passed away or has died. But that headline, dead at, it's just so cold and disrespectful to me. And I can't explain why I feel that way. And we're working on it. And I can't expect everybody to know that that's how I feel. I mean, I would walk up to a stranger and they refer to someone as dead, and I can't get mad at them. They don't know that that's the way that I feel. So now we're working on a way for me to come to terms with it, if I even can, because it still triggers me. A lot of people that I spoke with felt the same way. They felt like it was just rude. It was just unfeeling and cold. Now, what about death? I don't have an issue with the word death, and I don't know why. Death is more than just a state. It's a concept encompassing the end of life, often accompanied by cultural, spiritual, and philosophical beliefs about what comes after. I believe that when people die, they go to heaven. Or if you were a very bad person, you go to the other place. That's what they mean by cultural, spiritual, and philosophical beliefs. I think the word dying is the process of leading up to death. And again, I don't have a problem with that word either. It's sad when I hear that someone is dying. Yes, I go through all the emotions because I feel horrible that someone's life is ending, but I don't feel annoyed. I don't feel disrespected. I don't feel like the person delivering the news that someone is dying is being callous, cold, or unfeeling. It's just the word dead. I really got angry when my son was referred to as being dead, and I just cannot put into words why that irks me so much. Now that we've put sort of a clarification on these terms, let's kind of explore why some people are triggered by them, myself included, and others are just unfazed. Some of the reasons why people might dislike the words is fear of the unknown, the emotional pain, and the taboo and stigma of it. The word dead, death, and dying force us to confront the ultimate mystery in life and what happens after we die. For some, this uncertainty can be deeply unsettling. And to be honest, I don't think that's it for me. I like I said, I can't put it into words. These words often invoke memories of loss and grief, whether it's the death of a loved one or contemplation of our own mortality. The emotional weight can be overwhelming. I guess there is some emotion in hearing that word for me because I do have a reaction. I do get kind of annoyed and feel like I've been disrespected, or you're disrespecting my loved one. Like I said, I just can't articulate why that is. On the other hand, let's consider 3 reasons why people might find comfort or acceptance in these words. Acceptance in reality. Now, for some, using these words can be a way of acknowledging the inevitability of death, helping them to come to terms with the natural cycle of life. Talking openly about death and dying can provide catharsis, allowing individuals to express their feelings and find support from others who share similar experiences, spiritual or philosophical beliefs about death, viewing it as a transition rather than an end, which can mitigate the fear associated with those words. I don't see death on earth as an end. It's a beginning in heaven. Now, some people may see this a different way. Different cultures see death in different ways. I think it often boils down to experiences, cultural upbringing, and personal beliefs. For those of us who are okay with them, it may signify a level of acceptance and emotional resilience. However, for those of us who struggle with these words, it could indicate unresolved trauma, fear, and cultural conditioning. What would it mean for individuals to be okay with these words? I think it would involve a journey of self-reflection, acceptance, and perhaps a shift in perspective, which is what I'm trying to do in therapy now. A shift in my thinking, a shift in my perspective. And I have to be honest, it's not going too well because I still get very annoyed. And it may work for some people and it may not work for some people. It also may mean confronting fears, seeking support, and embracing the inherent uncertainty of life and death. I'm not afraid of death. I am curious as to what happens when you die. I think as we conclude today's episode, let's remember that words hold immense power. They can evoke deep emotion and ultimately shape our understanding of the world around us. If you are one of the people who are like me and have a problem with this word, let's start a discussion. We do have a Facebook group. It is called A Better Path Through Grief. There is no barrier to entry. You can join at any time. You don't have to be invited. And let's just start a conversation. How do you feel about the word dead? I would like to thank you guys for tuning in today. And I hope you guys are dealing with your journey through grief in a positive, productive way. My way is this podcast. Again, I do thank you for joining and thank you for following me on this journey through a better path through grief. I'll see you next time.